We're going to look at a couple of problems using the sum and difference, or sum to product and product to sum formulas. Starting off, we've got express cosine 2 alpha plus cosine 6 alpha as a product. Now, using our formula that says the cosine of one thing plus cosine of another, we get the formula that this cosine 2 alpha plus cosine 6 alpha is going to be 2 cosine of the sum of the two, so 2 plus 6, 2 alpha plus 6 alpha over 2, times the cosine of the difference. So that would be 2 alpha minus 6 alpha all over 2. So this gives us 2 cosine, 2 alpha plus 6 alpha would be 8 alpha. 8 divided by 2 would be 4. So this gives us 2 cosine 4 alpha. And then cosine 2 minus 6 would be negative 4 alpha. Divided by 2 would be negative 2 alpha. And we'll probably not find this as one of our answers if we're looking at this homework. That's because cosine is an even function. Remember that cosine of negative something is just going to be cosine of that same thing without the negative. So cosine of negative 2 alpha is going to be the same as cosine of positive 2 alpha. And so that's how we'd solve that one. So we can rewrite the sum of these two cosines as the product of 2 times cosine 4 alpha times cosine 2 alpha. Let's do another one. Instead, let's go from product to sum. And I've got a couple of formulas here. I wanted to try this in a couple of different ways. One is because notice that we've got sine x cosine y, but couldn't that just be cosine y times sine x? Why do we have the two different formulas when sine of one thing, cosine of something else, it's can be written either way? So I want to do this both ways to show you that we still get the same answer. So express 4 cosine 3 beta sine 5 beta as a sum. And according to our rule here, cosine of something times sine of something else is going to be 1/2 times, and the 4 is just going to go along for the ride, so it'll be 4/2 times sine of the sum of the two numbers, so this will be sine of 3 beta plus 5 beta, minus sine of the difference of the two, that would be 3 beta minus 5 beta. Alright, and 4 over 2 is 2. Sine of 8 beta minus sine of 3 beta minus 5 beta would be negative 2 beta. And just like cosine being an even function means that the negative on the inside, cosine of negative 2 beta would be the same as cosine of positive 2 beta. With the sine, we know that sine of negative x is negative sine x. And again, that's because this is an odd function, meaning the negative input changes the sign of the output. So this sine of negative 2 beta can be thought of as 2 sine 8 beta minus a negative sine of 2 beta. So in other words, we end up with 2 sine 8 beta plus sine 2 beta. Now I did say I wanted to do this the other way around. What happens if this were 4 sine 5 beta cosine 3 beta? Now these two mean the exact same thing, right? I just wrote them in a different order. So how does that make us end up with a different formula? Well, notice that if the negative, where we take 3 beta minus 5 beta, that gives us a negative answer. And since the sine is an odd function, that negative just gets pulled out front and makes it a positive. Well, now in this case, when we take the 5 minus the 3, again we'll have 4 times a half times sine of 8 beta, just like last time, plus sine of 2 beta, because 5 minus 3 this time is a positive. That gives us sine of 2 beta. So we could use either way. It just depends on which one, which of our angles is larger than the other. And either way it's going to come out in the wash, because both times we ended up with 2 times the quantity sine 8 beta plus sine 2 beta.